Have you ever been working in After Effects and received this error? It's the dreaded cache preview error, and it's really annoying. But luckily for us, there's a few ways to fix this error without spending hundreds of dollars on a new machine. In this short tutorial, I'm going to show you a few quick ways to fix this error and get back to your After Effects projects. So the first thing that you're going to want to try is to simply purge your RAM. Now, all this is going to do is get rid of all of the temporary video files that After Effects writes to your RAM to preview your compositions. Now, to do this, just go to Edit, Purge, All Memory, and you'll notice that all of the green in your timeline is gone. Now try rendering out your scene. If you still are getting an error, go back up to Edit, Purge, and do All Memory and the disk cache. This will get rid of all of the preview files on your machine. The next thing you're going to want to make sure is that After Effects is utilizing all of the RAM it can on your machine. To do this, go to After Effects, Preferences, and Memory. Once you're inside the preferences, you can change the RAM reserved for other applications to any number you want. If you use After Effects a lot, you may want to change this to about 1.5 or 2, depending on how much RAM you have installed on your machine. The next step may seem obvious, but you want to make sure you have all of your extra applications closed out on your machine. Now, another reason why you may be experiencing this render error is because the preview quality is simply too high in your After Effects composition. You can go to this little drop-down menu here and change the preview quality to whatever you want. I'm going to choose a third. This should significantly drop the size of your preview files. Another trick you may want to try is increasing the disk cache size. Just go to After Effects, Preferences, and Media and Disk Cache. You can now change the maximum disk cache size via this simple little slider here. Some people have found that another way to fix this problem is to go to After Effects, Preferences, and Memory, and go in here and make sure Reduce Cache Size is deselected, and hit OK. Another way to fix this problem is to go back to our disk cache, so After Effects, Preferences, and Media and Disk Cache, and we can change the location of our disk cache folder. I recommend selecting a folder that is separate from your project files. You don't want After Effects to have to read and write the files from the exact same drive. Now, it may seem like a silly solution, but one thing that you can do is simply close out After Effects and open it back up. This may only work for a few renders, but it does work from time to time. Another solution that may work is to simply go to After Effects, Preferences, Media, and Disk Cache, and then you can hit the Clean Database and Cache button down here, and hit OK. Now, another problem that people run into whenever they receive this error is trying to render out too much of their composition. So instead, I recommend setting your work area to the very specific portion of your composition that you're currently animating. You can change the in and out point of your current work area by hitting the B key, scrubbing forward to the end of your work area, and hitting the N key. There you go. You can also use the region of interest tool right here. If you go ahead and click on it and make a little box over the portion of the video frame that you are working on right now and click away, this should significantly reduce the cache preview file size. Another trick that you may want to try is optimizing your effects. So, for example, in this project right here, we have an adjustment layer with an add grain effect. Now, the add grain effect is incredibly intense on your computer. So one solution would be you could delete the add grain effect and go over here to the effects and presets browser and type in noise and add in a noise effect to the adjustment layer. Now, the noise and the grain won't be exactly the same, but if all you're looking for is some simple noise in your frame, you might not be able to tell the difference, and you will significantly decrease the render size on your machine. Another solution that I found is to simply organize your project. You don't want to have pre-comps inside of pre-comps inside of more pre-comps, because that can really bog down your machine. Ask yourself, how can I organize this project in the most efficient way possible? If you've done all of these steps and you still cannot preview a single frame, you may want to try simply rendering out your final composition. Rendering out your composition in this way isn't the most efficient way to go about editing in After Effects, but sometimes it's your only solution. Once you've rendered out your file on your computer, you can then critique it and make any necessary changes. In a lot of ways, this method is very similar to a high-end 3D or visual effects workflow. If you've tried all of these steps and you still cannot preview your final composition, it might be time to look into upgrading your computer. If you go to Adobe's System Requirements page, they have all of the information you'll need to know to optimize your machine to run After Effects. And that's all there is to it. If you want to learn more about fixing this problem, go check out the blog post over on our website. We'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.